welcome to episode 19 of What If Civilization Started Over. Let's get into it. So, World War Zero, if you haven't seen, almost every nation in the world is currently in some sort of alliance. Except a couple exceptions, like these guys here, and these Central European people, and this guy and this guy here. And this is probably going to be the peak of alliances in this world. World War Zero is really getting very close. So let's do some stuff with Siberia. Yes, Siberia. Siberia is going to get some people trying to expand into it. A lot of people, including the Russians. The Russians will continue to expand greatly, blocking off the Central Asian country from accessing that. They don't get that much, but they get a lot. They will get this much, though. About all this, which is a lot of stuff. They're trying to, conquer, all of whatever's out in this Siberian land, in these Siberian lands. Then the orange Chinese country, this orange Manchuria country, is also going to continue to expand way up more into Siberia, as Siberia is getting more and more discovered and explored, and therefore climbed over time. This has been happening over a longer period of time. This has been happening while that stuff has been happening in Europe. Not much has happened in Europe because of alliances. Alliances have kind of stabilized everything, pretty much. The only things that can really happen are certain countries exploding, and Britain can also happen. And Greenland can also happen. Yeah, that's pretty much all. Now Siberia is really getting close to being fully discovered. And therefore, almost the entire continent of Asia will be discovered and colonized and claimed by other countries. The Russian countries are going to attempt to make it to the Pacific, because they believe that it ends eventually, and eventually leads to the Pacific, which they are correct, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it, though. As the coastline is snatched away from the Russians by these guys, as they all just push in, and the Russians themselves aren't the ones blocking others from expanding. They're being blocked from expanding, which is something. The Russians are a little bad about this, not being able to reach all the end, but they do eventually do it. And the Russians make one more expansion, and which is going to look something like this. And the pink country's going to get all that. So Siberia has been divided. That's something. Yeah. And this may cause tension because the Russian country really wanted to get all the way over to the Pacific, knowing that now it's partially mapped out that it may just be there. Yeah. And now Asia is going to be fully filled out once and for all as the Myanmar country. He continues to explore and colonize the Indonesian islands, and they actually become the strongest navy in the world. Makes sense, having to control all these islands is hard. And they eventually reach and colonize all of Papua New Guinea, and if I can, there, and all these islands, yeah, a lot. They've conquered a lot, colonized and discovered and found a lot of stuff. And now, officially, the entire continent of Asia is full. The whole whole continent is full. So this is the second continent in the world to be 100% full with countries, which is definitely something. Now we're gonna go up to Iceland as more stuff continues to happen in Greenland. And the age of colonization may be starting. Navies are getting stronger. Curiosity is exploding. Trade is really popular trying to get all the way across the world. Because the Myanmar country's paying, they could maybe think they could go around the world trying to find stuff. But they feel like it's too much currently, so they aren't gonna do it yet. Greenland is going to continue to be explored. Also, this has happened over time. While the stuff from last episode was happening, to give some more reasoning, and yeah, Ireland is becoming a pretty strong colonizer. I would say so myself. And Americas are really, really close to being discovered by anybody really. But we can take a break from that and go to Africa as more expansions happen. Don't worry, I'm going to make sure expansions aren't the only thing happening this episode, because I don't want the episodes to be underwhelming. Still want them to be good before World War Zero. May start soon. It may start very soon, just saying. As this African country is going to continue to really just expand a bunch into Africa. Maybe that's a little very not specific, but that and this is really bad for them because they have a couple of regions breaking away because of this. Let's see what that looks like. Alright, so these are the breakaways. 4 countries break away from this country here. This Sudanese country, which will put the capital here. This country thing, South Sudanese country, will put their capital here. This Ugandan country will put the capital here, and this Kenyan country will put the capital here. And this opens up a lot of room in Africa for alliances. And alliances are getting kind of important. And the Mediterranean Union Alliance gets another member, which is the the Austrian country, which is just say still a little sick. Can't tell. The Sudanese and the Sudanese country and the South Sudanese country. But the Kenyan country would join with the Star Alliance actually. And so would the Ugandan country, which has opened a lot of stuff to go on in Africa. Okay, so yeah, lots of stuff has been happening recently. And these European countries, some of these Central European countries here that may not like this. The purple team is not liking this, so something's gonna happen. A unification between the red and the blue Central European countries. And they're also going to keep both the capitals like the Mediterranean Union has. But with that family tree, I'm pretty sure I explained the last episode. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure, yeah. That family tree, it's causing a little bit of unrest in the Mediterranean Union with a bunch of stuff going on. We can worry about that a little bit later as more stuff is happening in Poland. As this stuff here, rebellion is happening. Some sort of, a bright yellow country is going to break away from the Polish country. Yeah. But even despite them literally just forming, they're going to collapse immediately. Okay. So this is a lot of breakaways. And again, as I've said a couple times this episode, all these breakaways still open much opportunity for these countries, for other outside powers to get more influence in these areas. Like the Polish country was pretty strong before these areas, blocking off the Russians from the Baltics completely. But now the Russians are there's a lot of available space, and they're gonna use the available space they have immediately, as the Russians, not really being stopped by anybody, are going to attack this country and these three countries that surround this lake at the same time. And if you can't tell, the Russians are strong and have been waiting for this for a while, so they're immediately annexed, which is not good. And the Polish country going to attack and annex the other thing, but not before the Russians can cut them off, obviously. And they're the ones that take the capital region. Yeah, these guys are very strong. But some other countries are going to join alliances. Like this country here. It joins this alliance, the Triangle Alliance. And these guys will just kind of collapse and kind of join these guys. And Finland is also free. So, yeah. It wasn't really too much of a good idea. So, yeah, a lot of stuff is happening. The Russians take more, and the rest of these guys are just going to make the smart decision and just join back up with these guys. Yeah, and also they're gonna join the Triangle Alliance for protection. Yeah. Now the Triangle Alliance is getting a bit more influence, and even they're gonna get another member, and their next member is going to be this middle British country thing here. Yeah, that thing. And that is actually going to do it for today's. Oh, and one more thing about another certain country. Every country in Europe is in an alliance except the Central European guys. This guy is gonna join the Square Alliance. Yep, they're joining the Squares. And that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I sure did. Hopefully this recording hasn't cut out, which it hasn't in a couple episodes. So, yay. And I'll see you in the next episode, and bye.